Are you ready for this? I nodded yes to my friend. I'd read all about the Holocaust and felt well prepared. Understand, sweetie, that it's different hearing those stories than reading them. Different could it be? So as executive director of an Illinois Jewish Federation, I interviewed Holocaust survivors for a classroom video. Guess what? It is different hearing these stories in person. And no, I wasn't ready to hear how Nazis dragged Jewish patients out of a hospital and killed them on the streets, or how Jews in a Nazi labor camp were thrown off cliffs to mine precious metals. How could I go on after this? Then suddenly there was a Nazi-like event here in America. The Oklahoma City bombing. I wanted to know everything and be there in person at the bomber's trial. So I applied for a job with the Tulsa Jewish Federation and became its media director. My husband and I drove from Illinois to Tulsa, Oklahoma, only to discover that the trial had been moved out of state. I was devastated. Was all that effort for nothing? Hardly. The FBI trained me in security for the Federation, and the police alerted me when flyers showed up that said it was okay to kill blacks and Jews because they weren't really humans. Then the movie Schindler's List came out, and one of Oklahoma's congressmen wanted to ban it as pornography because it showed emaciated, naked Holocaust survivors. Oh, now Tulsa's Holocaust survivors were determined to speak to the media, and I was assigned to help them. These survivors had never told their stories, even to their own families. Stunned, I shared that in a phone call with my dad, and freaked out when he said, "Well, I've never shared my stories with you." And when he learned that the international Holocaust denier, David Irving, came to Tulsa, and I met him, he freaked out too, jumped on a plane, and came to Tulsa. Now I learned he'd been a military intelligence officer during the war, assigned to interrogate Nazi prisoners of war. And he kept his World War II letters and papers hidden away in his closet. Reading those letters, I learned that he'd opened an underground death camp holding thousands of dead bodies. And an emaciated, naked man had come up to him and said, "Do you know my cousin Mo in Brooklyn?" and dropped dead at his feet. It took many deeply emotional years for me to put those letters into books and a documentary, but I was determined. His story should have impact long after his passing. We cannot allow such Jew hatred again, ever.